Umbrellas and tuxedos. What's up with that?
Honk!
And welcome back to Comic Frontline, everybody. I am Brant Fowler, aka the Gonzo Goose, back with you for another episode of Brant's weekly comic rankings. This week I read 25 books. A lot of them were hard to rank, but let's get into it. Alright, so coming in at number 25, incidentally my worst pick, Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man Annual #1. Now, contrary to popular belief that it would just be for the art, because I'm not a fan of Michael Allred's art, it was the story. Honestly, it was just kind of all over the place, disjointed, just things were out of character. I just didn't like it. I didn't like this tale at all. 24, Hunt for Wolverine, Claws of a Killer #2. No, I didn't like the first issue. This one was a little bit better, but just kind of the least of these Hunt for Wolverine series. Still not sure about the motivations. Number 23, Ant-Man and Wasp #2. This is the Mark Waid one. I actually did go back and read the first issue. It was a cute story, but just kind of a little cheesy and sappy for me. Number 22, Daredevil #604. I wasn't feeling this battle with the Beast between Daredevil and this priest and these dragons, and just wasn't feeling the story. So I'm ready for this one to wrap up, but the ending was interesting. Number 21, a new book from Image, Shanghai Red #1. This was a good story. The art could have been a little bit stronger, or at least the coloring could have been a little bit brighter, but it was still an interesting story. I'm not sure it's my kind of story. Number 20, Damage #6. This one fell quite a bit. I felt like this conflict with Poison Ivy was wrapped up a little too cleanly when it comes down to it. Number 19, New Challengers #2. I'm still not feeling this series, but this issue was better. I liked this guy's backstory. Moses, I believe his name was. I liked his backstory a little bit better than the previous one. Number 18, Weapon H #4. This was a stronger issue than the last couple. I like delving into the motivations for Clay staying on the run, but it's still just not my favorite book. Number 17, Batman Prelude to the Wedding, Red Hood vs. Anarchy. This one was better than I expected. I liked the character moments with Selina, with her girls, and Jason with Batman, and kind of failing and being told he has to give the money back that he already spent. That was nice. Number 16, Infinity Countdown, Black Widow. Not the worst of these Infinity Countdown books, but not the best either. It was an okay story. I liked her kind of inner monologue talking about Logan kind of screwing her over by giving her the stone. Number 15, Doctor Strange #2. This is an interesting take on Doctor Strange. I thought the art was really nice. I liked they threw in this side character, this anarchologist, I guess you'd call her. Is that what it was? Whatever it was called. Interesting, and I like the accountant at the end. Number 14 is Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #20. It was a fun story, just not the best, and I feel like the book has lost a little bit of the charm for me. Number 13 is Aquaman #37. I'm just kind of tired of this battle over Atlantis. The art is still really nice, but again, we're left with, oh, is Aquaman dead again? Number 12, Avengers #3. This story is just still all over the place. I felt like the beats were a little bit off, and I did think it was interesting that Thor stole their Hulk, but Ghost Rider still doesn't fit for me in this whole story. Number 11, Man of Steel #4. Definitely not the best issue of this series. Probably the lowest so far. The art wasn't quite as strong, and I'm already tiring of the villain. But and that last page, are we going there again? Number 10, as we get into the top 10, Justice League #2. Definitely fell quite a bit for me from the first issue. The art changed here. It was most noticeable in Martian Manhunter, and I just didn't care for it. I felt like the story was kind of all over the place time-wise. It didn't make sense to me why Jon Stewart was being recruited when he was helping them in the first issue. Just a lot of things that make sense for this one, about this one for me. Number 9, Lost City Explorers #1, a new title. This was a fun story with some sadness to kick it off, and you ultimately have this group of friends hunting for the lost city of Atlantis to find a couple of their father, who is supposedly dead but gone missing. Interesting first issue. Number 8, Fathom #1. This is volume 7, I believe. and 20 years of Fathom, Aspen, Matthews, and I really liked this first issue. I thought it was a nice way to kick it off, and you kind of get a really good picture of who Aspen is as this quest to find her brother kicks off. Number 7, Infinity Countdown Champions. This is the Champions book that I've been wanting. I thought this was a great team book. It was a great way to bring these characters back together, and it delves back into Nova Sam's past a little bit. So, really good issue. Number 6, just falling out of my top 5, Amazing Spider-Man 801. I thought it was a really great final issue for Dan Slott. Not quite as good as the last issue, but really touching moments here, especially with the nod to saving uncles. Number 5, as we get into the top 5, Runaways number 10. Some great, fantastic character moments here with Julie and Nico and Gert jumping to Julie's defense against Carolina, which was interesting, and just some cool, interesting stuff going on here, and the little nod that Tony Stark's going to be called in, and Victor being scared about this just opened a lot of doors for where the series could go from here. Number 4, Tony Stark Iron Man number 1. Very solid first issue, fantastic, gorgeous artwork throughout it. I really kind of like this take where Tony Stark, even as a kid, was just like, I'm bored, but I'm going to do my absolute best, which is still 10 times better than everybody else, and bringing on his competitor from back then, the Fin Fang Foom Buster armor, just a lot of good stuff to love about this issue. Number 3, Batman number 49. I love this post-battle conversation between Catwoman and Joker. Just laying there, both dying, bleeding out, and just kind of having this chit-chat conversation because of their similarities and differences, and both love Batman. It was beautiful. Tragic, but beautiful. Alright, number 2 for me, X-Men Gold number 30. Not my number 1. This was a beautiful, tragic story with an about time ending. You had some conflict and turmoil with Kitty and Colossus here, obviously, with the phasing through the ring and everything, and then disappearing, and ultimately the way that ended. But then you have the surprise, which wasn't really a surprise since it was ruined everywhere the day before, but Rogue and Gambit getting married, tying a knot finally after all these years was great. A lot to love about this issue. But there was a book I loved more. So my number 1, surprising, is WWE number 18. As a fan, this was just a perfect recap of the relationship, both friendship and rivalry, of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I thought this was the best done book in the series thus far, and every book has been fantastic. But there was just something about the chronicling of these two that just spoke to me as a wrestling fan, and I thought it was just really well done. The likenesses were gorgeous. I can't give this book high enough praise. So there you go. Those are my weekly rankings for books that came out on June 20th, 2018. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below what you thought of the books this week. And of course, tune into Comic Frontline Live, where we talk about specifically our top 5 and worst pick and go into a little bit more detail and in-depth conversation about it. And of course, you can follow me at Brant Fowler on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, across social media, lasthourpress.com, stone4podcast.com. And until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.